Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Never Had a Boyfriend with me, Katie Green. Today I'm joined by a very good friend, very funny comedian, Jenny Tian. We always talk about relationships, so this conversation is kind of an insight into our everyday voice notes. So I'm really excited to share it with you. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, all of the above. Everything really helps. And if you really, really love the podcast, I do have a Patreon where you'll get early access to episodes, some bonus content, and a lot more stuff. So check that out, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for coming here on this podcast today. First of all, why do you think I've never had a boyfriend?
Can I say something that I think I don't think anyone said, and I think you're going to disagree with me.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Debating already.
Yeah. You
ready? A minute in. Yeah.
I think internally there's some part of you that doesn't want one.
Okay.
I think you're scared.
I think I'm scared too.
I think you're quite avoidant.
And you think that fear is stopping me from pursuing something?
Yeah, because if I were to look at your life, a lot of the people that you are interested in are unavailable.
Yes.
And I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
And if I were to analyze, like how many Hinge dates have you been on this year, or dates in general, where it's like
one Hinge date?
Exactly. And the thing is, I know people who are out there looking and finding a partner, and they treat it like a job. When they're really looking for someone and they're looking for their person, they really open themselves up, and they're on a Hinge date like freaking multiple a week because they're going to find their person.
Yes, I agree with this. However, my issue is time. I get really bad.
The thing is, for your future partner, you would make the time.
But how do I know they're my future partner? Because I feel like there's so much time wasting in dating. And also I think it's...
See, I knew you would disagree with me.
Because the thing is, I think of everything as opportunity cost.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, if I have a free Tuesday evening, first of all, I will have put my availability for shows. So I'll just be sat there like, if a show wants me, I'll be here.
Oh my God, I feel like I've transformed into your dating coach. You're like, here's my problem. And I'm like, all right, here's the mentality which you need to solve this. The thing is, if you don't start creating the space for a person in your life, that person will not enter.
Yeah.
You have to make that space. And if it was important enough to you, you would do it. So you prioritizing these other things, everyone's busy. No one has time in their life for things, But if something is important enough to you, you will get out there and you will do it. And I think there is a reason you haven't done it yet.
And you think it's fear?
I think it's fear. I think it's avoidance. There's probably other issues in there.
Avoiding like intimacy, or avoiding...
It could be anything. I don't know you well enough, but if you went to a therapist about it, they're going to tell you something about how it links to your family.
You keep on trying to push this therapy. You keep on trying to talking to ChatGPT. And I'm like, no, I want to talk to Jenny.
You're like, you keep pushing this therapy thing and I keep avoiding it. I think there are actually benefits to it, and it might actually do things for me, but no, I'm going to do acupuncture instead. Acupuncture will solve everything. I'll do other remedies. I'll drink tea. I'll buy things. I'll keep going to the gym. Oh, that'll make me feel good if I keep going to the gym.
Well, I'm not going to voice note you anymore. Well, okay. That was too spot on. And you know what? I did the acupuncture for weight loss, not to find a boyfriend. I don't know what he would have said if I said, hey, look, I'm really trying to find a boyfriend. Stick some needles in me.
Do you want the real answer, or do you want me to riff?
Everyone in that seat says that. They're like, what do you really want from me? What is this? Is it meant to be lighthearted, or am I supposed to be like, this is your problem?
It's like, is this a comedy podcast, or is this Katie getting free therapy?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Can it be both?
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
But I do think we've talked about this a lot in terms of having our schedule as a comedian, and having it be inverted to most other people.
I agree.
And
yes.
it is really hard to keep a night off for some random person who I might not be interested in. Because in the daytime, if someone wants to meet at 2 p.m., fantastic. I'd love to meet you at 2 p.m. But what kind of guy is free at 2 p.m.? It's very difficult.
Yeah. I agree that it's very, very difficult. However, of the female comedians I know that really do, like the people that, you know, thrive when they're in healthy relationships, all of them are in a relationship and all of them manage to make it work some way.
Yeah.
And the ones who, like, it's really hard, for example, being a mum and being a comedian as well, you know, like you're out late all the time, your time is really, really limited. They still manage to do both because they have prioritized those two things in their life, being a mother, being a partner, and also doing comedy as well. And I do think it's possible.
Yeah.
Because I look at someone like Ali Wong and I'm like, she does do it all, and she probably gets very little sleep, but she manages to do it. So
yeah, but also she has money.
she has money, but the possibility is out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it's you've seen, you know, the concrete example of someone being able to make it work, and yes, she's in a very different life circumstance to yourself.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. But, you know, she's still managed to actually make everything work.
I think I am scared to make the time because also I think you get so used to being alone. I think my whole life I've just been alone, especially like moving here. I've been really, I don't realize until I have someone in my space where I'm like, oh, I do function better alone.
100%. Do you know that? Oh, you only listen to Bad Bunny, but there's this Halsey song where,
No.
I really like Halsey. You don't like Halsey?
Halsey was the one that dated somebody, and then they did that song that was like,
oh yeah, but then he was cheating on her.
airplanes.
Oh yeah, that's Hayley Williams. But Halsey does like team up with a lot of other artists.
Okay.
She did Closer, you know.
Closer.
No. Did you just hear the name of a song and decide to with your own melody?
Yeah, I spend too much time alone.
The sound of you singing Closer was like in the same note as that horn that sounded off just then. Closer. So anyway, she has this song called Colors, and she talks about how I was blue and you were red, and when you touched me, I turned into a lilac sky, and then you realized purple just wasn't your color. And I think that really is representative of, you know, you're your own person.
Wow.
It's beautiful, right? But it's like how you're your own person and you're, you know, blue, and another person is like another color.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people think that when you come together, you just stay as red and blue, and that and then you just function together like that. But you ultimately, you become part of each other's lives and you'll influence each other as well. You know, and I forgot what my point was, but when you were saying like you're alone and, you know, all of this type of stuff, there is some part of you where when you invite a partner into your life, you're going to have to be able to compromise, you know, some stuff. And then you have to accept that, you know, you might change and your partner might change as well, especially as the years go on.
Yeah.
And you're a combination and you're a team together. You're purple. You're team purple.
Yeah. I do think that finding that compromise, but finding somebody who's worth the compromise is very difficult.
Exactly.
But also, I don't hardly date. I mean, I went on one hinge date this year.
Yeah, and why? Because you don't make the space.
Don't make the space.
It's like, you know, when I was like really, you know, intent on finding someone, it was like I would set up, you know, a hinge date or whatever, and I'd be like, I'm not canceling this, and they might not be worth it, but they might be, and you don't know until you go on the date, right? And then I went through a lot where they kind of weren't worth it, but that just means that, you know, there are things that you can do to kind of prevent wasting that time, like talking to them a little bit beforehand, you know, really looking at their prompts and seeing like, oh, like, do they have the same sense of humor that I do?
Yeah.
Is this someone that I firstly want to get along with it and want to know better? Or is this like just, you know, someone that I already know I'm not going to be too compatible with, but they kind of look good and that's why I'll go on a date
this
with
is
them.
hard. That's something that our dear friend Evaldes taught me about, the like really like no fuck boys on like your
100%.
Your any sign of a fuck boy is like X right away, and it's very hard because you're like, oh, he's hot, oh, that guy's so hot, oh, that's totally fine that all of his hinge prompts are just ...
Yeah.
He must be interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it was so mysterious.
I'm sure he's interesting.
Oh my God, he's got nothing to say. Wow.
Yeah, like, oh, it must be too busy.
He's so busy. Oh my God. But like, you know, I used to look at that as well, and I'll still look at that if someone's really good looking. But, you know, Evaldes taught me as well is you can't just look at guys that are good looking. You know,
Yeah.
look at the prompts. Like, do they have a personality that
Yeah.
you would get along with? Do they have a sense of humor? Are they interesting? Are they do they read? You know, like those are clues into their personality.
Yeah.
Like the type of person who writes ... It's like, imagine what type of person they are. Like, is that someone that you're going to be able to riff with and laugh along with?
Yes. And you know, the people that have just one letter as their name,
Ugh.
don't trust you.
Ugh.
Or the people who put their Instagram handle.
Oh,
No.
that's the worst. Or when you're chatting with them and they're like, let's move this to Insta. I'm like,
No.
are you just trying to gain an extra follower one by one by matching with people?
I feel like people, like men collect Instagrams like Pokemon. Like they just like, I want all my Instagram. These are all the women that could potentially like me at one point in time.
Yeah.
And these
Yeah.
are all the women I could fire emoji. Like it's I find it insane.
100%.
And then I have to have this like 1 minute chat. Like it's
Yeah.
what's the point of you?
And then you see them on the rest of your feed, like
Yes.
continually. It's like, oh my, and then now it's weird if I unfollow. And yeah, I always find that really, really uncomfortable and awkward.
But it also must be because do you put on your do you still have a any online dating?
You're like, what's that? What's that thing we're talking about?
Yeah, the people do it.
Online.
Do you have any
No, I'm off
dating
all of
apps?
them at the moment.
That's what they're called.
That's online dating. Do you have OkCupid? Do you have Plenty of Fish?
Are you on Match.com? I recently got Match.com.
Are you on that? What's that? Christian Mingle.
Are you on dating?
No,
apps?
I'm off for the whole year.
Whole year.
Yeah, I got scarred by a guy from London, and I'm done. I'm like, I think I can only handle one more heartbreak in my whole entire life.
Whole
and that's it.
life.
And I'm like, this next person I find has to be serious. I'm done.
Fuck, it's so scary.
It's scary.
It's really scary.
It's like I rarely regret experiences. I really regretted this guy. I think the best thing I got out of it was that I had learnt a lot, but I kind of regret the entire thing with him. I regret opening up. I regret being vulnerable. He was like a really mean kind of guy, and I was naive enough to, you know, like I'm in a new country. I thought, oh, look, British people are so charming. They're so nice. Nah.
Has that affected your dating in the UK, do you think?
I'm not dating.
Yeah, well.
I'm not going to, because it's like, you know, I think after that I had to spend a fair bit of time healing. Started reading relationship books, went more on like a self-improvement journey, working on myself, all of that sort of thing. And I think after that, you know, because he was a bit of a fuckboy.
Yeah.
Now I'm dating with a lot more intention, and I'm a lot more discerning with who I allow into my life, because I got scolded by, I call him Vietnamese of all this. My friend Michael, right, is Vietnamese of all this. They're the same person. Where he was just like, you know, we were both kind of discussing like, how did I even get to a stage where I allowed this to happen to myself? You know, and then there's stuff like, you know, you really have to be discerning with a person and see what they're like, and don't sleep with them too early, because then you get emotionally attached.
Oh God. I mean, I think there's multiple factors when you come out of something that's really toxic, because one, you're like, I think the biggest thing is, how did I let myself do that? And then I think there's a lot of like shame and guilt you put on yourself of being like, I know I'm smarter than that to have allowed that to happen.
Yes.
But at the same time, you really do have to be kind to yourself, because it's so especially when you're in a new place. I find like when you're away from home, your guard is down. Even though you were living here already, it's like, it's still a new place, new culture, different, and also we all want to have something. So I think you're like, okay, this will be different, and then I think you allow certain things because you're like, well, I'll just try it. I'm already in a new place. Might as well try something different. Might as well might as well allow this to happen. That doesn't have a boundary, or like maybe be like, oh, okay, I wouldn't necessarily have liked this if I was in my home, or you know. Do you ever find that?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with all of that. But there are certain other sort of boundaries that, you know, me and Vietnamese of Aldous were discussing, where he was like, you should you should never do this and you should never allow people to do this to you because your time is precious. Getting to know you is precious. Like your energy, like experiencing things with you is precious, and you need to be able to guard that within yourself. You can't just allow anyone like that into your life. And it was a really stern talk that really pissed me off at the time because it felt like having a conversation with a parent where I'm like, I know this already. Oh, like I was like doing like really big eye rolls, but it's like I really needed to hear that at the time. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be a lot more kind of, you know.
Yeah. So what were the things that he was saying? So no sex too early.
No sex too early.
This I find is really difficult though, because it's like, I feel like on one hand, you know, you feel like you need to have these rules for male. All of it's like what men want, really, because even if you want sex, you have to hold back because of what he would think of you.
I mean, you could do it. I mean, you could think about it that way. However, my mentality is that you do it for you. You do what you want. And here's what I mean by that. So the thing is, you know, for me, when I sleep with someone, I get emotionally attached to them, right?
Yes, that's why I do it right away.
You can kill mine now. Yeah. So the thing is, the advice I've been given by both Avaldis and Vietnamese Avaldis is, they're the same person.
They are.
Is wait at least a month, right? And it's not for them. And it's not.
1 month. Okay, these are some Steve Harvey rules.
The rationale behind it is that you really get to know someone more after the 5 dates or so. And there's instances where you can see a mask slip because there's a lot of people out there, men and women. This isn't just about men, by the way, being bad people. Women can absolutely do this as well, where they kind of feign a certain identity for themselves and say things like, I'm a feminist. Oh, I love the Barbie movie. I'm all for women's rights. And they kind of showcase and project this version of themselves that you will believe. But within 5 dates, there will be instances where you see that mask drop just for a moment and you can see what they're really like. And you have to give that opportunity to yourself. If you sleep with them too early, you become emotionally attached. You're going to start forgiving those parts where the mask slips.
So 5 dates, that's the general rule, 5 dates.
About a month or so. Like I'll give you an example where like I spotted the mask slipping. So I was seeing a guy and he was like, I told him about my plans in London. He's like, yep, I'm willing to move to London for you. It was so nice.
This is in Australia?
In Australia.
Okay.
He had his own business. He was like a driven guy. We had great conversations together where we, you know, would speak about like mindset and everything. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he was kind of like a guy where he was a gentleman. He would open the car door. He would take me out on dates. They were to nice places. He had his own place. He was nice. There were a lot of things about him that were really, really nice and courteous and gentlemanly. And one day he drove me to a cafe and then I slammed his car door because I drive a car that's heavier and he was driving a convertible. And then I slammed it and it was a bit hard and then I was like, oh, sorry. Anyway, then we went to the cafe and he was just like, yeah, you slammed my car door really hard, bitch. And then I was like, whoa, did I just hear that? Whoa. You know, and then the rest of the conversation was, you know, kind of like whatever. But everything about him was so nice. It was just that one interaction.
Yeah.
And then I went on another date with him where we were talking about Vivid Sydney, which is a light festival in Sydney that's like notoriously known to be overpriced and overhyped. And then I was like, I kind of hate Vivid Sydney. Oh, it's back on again. And he was like, why? You don't like lights? They're so beautiful, which is a valid perspective as well. And I was like, and I was kind of just ranting and doing my, oh, it's overpriced and oh, it's just like a touristy thing to do. And he was like, but the colors are so beautiful. Oh, bitch. And then so it was a second time and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Call me that again. And I'm like, but everything else about him was so nice. And then I was talking to Vietnamese Avaldis about this and I'm like, I think he was just joking. He was just joking, right? And then Vietnamese Avaldis was like, but kind of look at the way he's using it. It's in certain situations where he's trying to put you in your place. He's using that particular vernacular to signal a certain thing and it's not funny. He's not using it as a joke. And it does it. And I'm like, but what if it's just, those are the guys that he's grown up around, you know, and he's, you know, and then they just use that, but they don't understand, you know, the implications of, you know, how it affects women and stuff. And he's just like, no. He's using it in a very specific way. It's not ironic and it's very intentional.
Yeah.
And this guy does not like women. He's he's going to try and control you eventually
Yeah.
in the future. This guy is bad.
Yeah.
And then even then I kind of like didn't believe him necessarily. And then I actually did sleep with him. And that's when I was like, whoa, this guy hates women.
Oh, really?
The way he did things was like, I was like, oh no, he does not like women. And he's very like inward and to himself and doesn't care about your needs. Like he's all about like satisfying himself. And that's when I was like, whoa, okay, no, this guy's bad. But like that's an example of like I didn't sleep with him instantly. I waited a bit and then I saw things and I saw red flags and then I still slept with him anyway, which I shouldn't have done. But that's when I was like, whoa, okay. That's those little clues. They were signs and they were red flags, and those red flags shouldn't be ignored.
It's really interesting because it's like sometimes you do need that outside perspective from a man because, yeah, I think being called a bitch is such a big red flag in general, whether it's joking or not. No.
It's very loaded. Yeah.
Very loaded.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's why don't sleep with guys immediately. Like imagine if I slept with him like on the first date.
Okay.
Like I would have,
you
would have forgiven all of that.
It's a joke. That even so, you hadn't slept with him, and you're like, oh, it still probably is a joke.
Yeah, I was still trying to justify it to myself because there were all these other things about him that were great.
But also, I just think it's like the way you have your outlook in life. Because I think that not wanting to ever see a bad like you don't. I don't want to assume that any man hates women. 'Cause that's like it's terrible to think. But then the way it sprinkles out.
I think like, we've grown up in circles where we're taught to believe to see the best in people. And that's like a good quality is to see the best in people. And then because of that, we invite people that are not so nice into our lives because we, overlook the bad qualities and then really focus on the good qualities. And that's great for, I think, a lot of things in life, but not dating.
Not dating.
Really,
I think
you have to have those standards for yourself. And for me, it's like I really rely on my friends. Like I tell them things, and they help me.
I think it's so important. I also think, because I was in a situationship, we know this. We all know this.
I talk about it every episode.
It's my only point of reference of life. And there got to a point where I stopped telling my friends stuff. And I was like, no, this isn't good. Because I was too embarrassed. Because I'd know what they would say. And I knew what he was doing was wrong. Or I knew it didn't make me feel right. And I knew there was no way to kind of spin it to be like, because there's so many things where I'd be like, no, he just, that's just, my thing was always like, oh, he's had a bad upbringing. Like he's had he doesn't mean to not commit to me. It's just, didn't have a dad. So.
And that's why.
So I kind of think that's the only reason to like he's actually a good person.
Yeah.
Just bad things have happened. So what's your ideal person? Because we talk about finding somebody that adapts to our lifestyle.
100%. Yeah. And then every time I explain this to anyone, they're like, that's really demanding. And I'm like, well, that's what it takes to be in my life.
So here's my question. I hate when people say, like, you're demanding. Okay, so what is the difference between having standards or then being too picky? So I can't have standards because I'm too picky? Or what?
I think standards are related to more so the way a person kind of treats you and their interactions with you, whereas pickiness is the kind of like the superficial stuff,
like what they're wearing.
Yeah. You're like, but that's so important to me. That's a standard.
Sometimes they wear weird things.
I mean, but the thing is, like, if they're wearing weird things, it's like, and they have like a bad sense of fashion. That's something that they can work on. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like treatment and treating you badly is like, no, that's intolerable.
Okay, so picky is him having a job?
I think picky would be around, again, like the superficial stuff. I think having a job and having that as a standard, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. But if like you're the type of girl that's like, I want a guy who earns a yacht and he's got $1 million and he lives this big lavish lifestyle. I'm like, okay, that's a bit.
No.
That's a bit, okay, what are you dating for? You're not dating for a person, then you're dating for a lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah. So no yacht. Yeah, no yacht.
I mean, I dated a guy with a boat.
With a boat?
He was my first boyfriend.
And how big was the boat?
Not that big, but it was still a nice boat.
A boat?
He had a boat. It was nice. I felt really cool and,
on the boat. Wow.
Like, fancy at the time.
That's really cool, though.
But he's the one who, like, he cheated on me eventually, and then ended up dating. Well, he was behind my back doing a thing where he was pretending to be in a relationship with another girl because she needed a visa, and she was giving him a lot of money for it. Have I told you this one?
No.
So this was my first relationship, and it's in my first comedy special. It's called Picture This, where I dated this guy, and he seemed like the perfect Prince Charming. He loved being romantic as well. He loved the role of a boyfriend. He loved being the protector and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He was wealthy. He lived in a wealthy area of Sydney that was near a beach.
Bondi?
More wealthy.
Wow. More wealthy. I don't even know.
It goes beyond Bondi. I only know Bondi.
Yeah, wow.
What else is
this? Is Dubai.
Where did he live? The Opera House?
Must have. Wow. This is crazy. This guy's got money.
This guy had money. He came from a wealthy family, went to a private school. And so I met him via like a dating app type situation. And then it was going so great. And then for some reason, I had never been Facebook friends with him. I didn't think I needed to be. And then we finally added each other on Facebook. And then I went through his profile pictures. And every single picture he had, this was a white guy, by the way, every single picture he had was with another Asian girl. And it was every photo. It was just
the same
like,
girl?
Different girl, different Asian girl, girl after girl after girl after girl. And I was like, huh. And they were all clearly ex-girlfriends. And I was like, huh, red flag. But then I was like, okay, so he's got a preference, but oh, he's so nice. And oh, there's all these other qualities about him that I really enjoy. And then he had a photo one day posted. He got tagged in a picture with another Asian girl while I was seeing him. And it was at Vivid Sydney, which is known to be...
Oh, what a rip-off Vivid Sydney is.
Rip-off, and it's known to be really romantic. It's like a date spot because you're seeing lights in the dark, right? And then it's cold because Vivid happens in the winter. So it's like, oh, you get like snug with the person, and it's just a good... You're thinking of going to Vivid Sydney.
So what are the dates of Vivid Sydney, would you say? Do they have like boyfriends there that waiting for... Can you get that service or...
Like, when should I get my ticket? When should I get
it? I make Vivid Sydney. Yeah, I think I...
Yeah, and then what the outfits? Yeah. Anyway.
My hoodie.
In my hoodie. You're like practicing already. You're like, okay, this is how I'll cuddle against
look at these lights.
They're so pretty.
Yeah.
So anyway, Vivid Sydney. And then
they were at Vivid Sydney.
And then his arm was around her and I was freaking out and I was like crying. I was like, he's cheating on me. That's the only explanation, is he's cheating on me. And then I called him up and then he wasn't answering. And then I texted him. I'm like, what's going on? What the hell? Explain this. And then he was like, don't worry, it's nothing. You're going to laugh when I tell you the reason. And then we met up in person and it was like killing me. I felt like I was going insane. I was like, what's my reality at the moment? And then he went, so I am this girl that I was with. She is from China and she needs a visa and we're pretending to be in a relationship. And in exchange, she's giving me this amount of money and she's giving me a car and she's giving me this. And he's like, and I really need this money right now. I owe people money. And I'm like,
but he has money.
He's 21 at this stage. I'm like 19, 20, right? And then Betty was also like really into like drugs and partying and whatever because he's like that rich boy that lives that type of lifestyle. And then I was like, what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. And then I forget at this point whether we broke up or not, but it was very on and off. And then I ended up going, okay, you can be doing this fake relationship with this girl or whatever. And then one day I get a call from his number and then it's heavy breathing. It's like, and I'm like, hello? And it's the girl. And she's going, I know who you are. And I know that you're with this guy. Stay away from him. He's mine. Stay away. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what is this? What is happening? She's scary. And then I messaged him on like Facebook Messenger. I was like, she called me from your number. What is happening? And he was like, don't worry, I'll handle it. By the way, from now on, she also reads all of our messages together. So let's email. And I'm like, so I am emailing this guy to try and meet up with him. That's the stage we're getting to.
What?
Because she goes through his phone. I don't know how, he doesn't have a passcode. This is back before you needed a passcode for your phone. So she would be going through his phone. She'll be deleting photos. She would be going through all of his like social media and stuff, like seeing whether he's talking to any other girls. She was incredibly possessive of him. And it was very clear that she was in love with him. And I was like, oh my God, this is just such an absolute mess. And then one time we were like I was staying over at his place and then he didn't want to sleep with me. And I'm like, that's weird. You always have a really high sex drive. And I'm like, are you sleeping with her? And he was like, yeah. And so he was sleeping with her as well. And so I was like, what the hell? And then that's when everything, we broke up and stuff. I forgot why I was telling you this story, but that was my first ever partner.
I was going to ask what your first relationship was.
That was my first proper one.
Don't want one now.
Don't want one. Well, I mean, I think after that, like he taught me a lot. Now when I look back on it, he taught me a lot, like genuinely as a person. This is the crazy thing, Katie. He wasn't even that bad. Of all the people I have dated, he's actually one of the better ones. Like he was actually okay.
That would scare me. I think
Yeah.
cheating is that is because it makes me crazy.
It makes you crazy. You don't know what to trust anymore. It shatters your reality.
Yeah.
And you have huge trust issues and it takes a lot of time for you to heal. But I think I still learned a lot from that relationship. And I think the thing is like, you know, after that, going into other relationships, you know, you start carrying baggage and whatnot. And I was talking to another friend about this. And, you know, it followed me for like a little bit, but she was like, you know, all those things that happened to you, obviously they were horrible and they weren't your fault. But you still carrying this with you, that is your problem. And that is something that you have to work through.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's like that's like, you know, it happened years and years ago and I'm over that now. But it was like because that was the foundation of everything I knew and learnt, it was like that's kind of what I was going into with every other relationship. And I was always really anxious and I'm like, this person's going to leave me or they don't want me or they have a girl who needs a visa who is texting them and going through our photos and stuff. Like, how can I trust this person?
But then also what was that whole story? Yeah, she probably needed the visa, but also like they were still together, no? Or
so then what happened afterwards was that he really wanted to be friends after.
with you.
Yeah. I know, the goal. And then I was kind of like, oh, you know, and then part of me still kind of liked him. So I was still kind of just like going along with it. And then he started seeing another girl who was also so hot. Like unbelievably hot. So that was like really awful for my self-esteem as well. And
Brutal yeah.
So brutal. And then I would show my guy friends and I'd be like, he's dating this girl now. And they'd be like, oh, she's really hot.
Yeah. It's so bad. I did this with this.
Yeah?
Do you think this girl's hot? Like, I mean, she's not that hot, right? She's fine.
Yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
But like she doesn't look funny.
Yeah.
Does she? She doesn't look funny. Well, I mean, you look.
Can she do crowd work? She can't do crowd work, can she? Okay, she can't riff. She can't think of things on the spot. Okay, she can't ask people what their jobs are and then make further jokes about that.
She doesn't have an hour, huh? She does not have an hour.
She doesn't have an hour.
No. Do you think she does stand up in 2 languages? She doesn't. I don't think so. I don't think you can have that waist and that the breast size.
Yeah, she does a giant poster in her home of herself. No, she wouldn't have that.
Probably does. Yeah, that one she probably does. Yeah.
So anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, yeah, that was I was always really anxious going into every other relationship after that.
And do you still carry that with you or
No, I think I've worked through that and then I've had other different relationships scar me for different reasons. And I think you know, I'm doing a lot of work at the moment to try and as much as possible go into a more secure attachment style.
Okay, we kind of talked about red flags and green flags. Well, we didn't talk about any green flags. We talked about red flags. So we think red flags, 5 dates.
I think, yeah, give yourself 5 dates.
So that's a kind of a standard to determine. What do you think is the biggest red flag?
Like just based off like my interactions that I have with the people in my life and who I'm attracted to, if they start kind of like preaching themselves too much and going like, I'm a feminist, I care about this a lot, I'm a real warrior and and I care about all these issues, and it's just a little bit too forced and put on, and they're really trying to push this image of themselves being a good guy, I think it's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, if it comes up in conversation later on and stuff, that's obviously, that's valid and fine. Obviously, I want to date someone who's a feminist. But to posture it so early on.
I feel like you can show if you're a feminist. You don't need to tell. I used to play comedians football. Then I was new to the scene relatively in the beginning. And I could really tell what men were really like gender equal because of how they play with me. And it was really interesting to be able to see. I think sport is a really telling way to see if a man actually sees you as an equal.
Is it like, or what do you reckon they would be like more gentle with you?
Because some people would be too gentle, and I'm like, okay, you view that I'm not as capable.
Yes.
There's a point where I started like scoring, and then people were like, oh, now we're gonna be like more hard on her,
right?
And then I'm like, okay, now you viewed me more as like a like I've built my stripes up a bit. I had one friend who really just bodied me one time in a way that was like, oh yeah, this is what you would do to a man. Yeah. But like I just don't have the physical strength. But I'm like, oh, like that's like for me, I was like, oh, like you view me as an equal player on the field. I think it's very hard to actually feel like an equal when you're playing the sport. Like one guy like I headbutted me by accident, and that was. I think that has nothing to do with feminism, but
you're like that would actually hurt.
Yeah, he headbutted me in here, and my lips swole.
Oh my god!
And the rest of the guys were like, "Don't women want big lips?" I was like, "You're right."
You're like, "Thank you, actually."
Yeah,
thank you. Saved money on lip filler.
Never needed it. Okay, so that's a red flag. Yeah. You said before we got cut off that if they own the book.
Oh, if they own the book 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Okay, but what if they own the book The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene?
I think it's
any
not,
of the Robert Greene collection.
Okay, Robert Greene is okay. I've read him as well, but it's like if they have a lot of books that are about power and manipulation, because it's like in a relationship. This is something that I've had to learn as well by dating all these awful men. Is there's always power involved. And then the type of person that starts reading a lot about how to have the upper hand and a lot of power, it's like, why do you need that? What are you looking for? Why are you looking to manipulate? Like, yeah. And then the people that tend to read that, there's like a darkness about them. And, I'm not a very dark person. So I also think that that's just not a compatible thing with me. And I wouldn't want to be with someone who, really obsessively is into that sort of
power.
Stuff.
Yeah, power is kind of crazy. Like, no.
Yeah.
You work at Starbucks. Yeah, you don't need power. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Working at Starbucks would be an upgrade for me. Everyone I date is unemployed.
Really, Jenny?
Yeah. Oh, these guys that I've dated, because it's like, there's that thing where, people have been like. Because I'm friends with so many men that are like, oh, women just want money. They just want a man with money. Oh, no, I have to get money. And blah, 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 that's all they want. And they're so superficial. And I think there's a subconscious part of me that's like, well, I'm not like that. I don't need, because I provide for myself. Like, I'm very self-sufficient. So I don't need that. I don't care what a guy does. And therefore, I have dated so many unemployed guys.
And do you pay for them with stuff? Because I've been in positions where I've paid for something, like not like crazy, but it's like, but it does make it does feel like it's not like I don't need to have somebody who has money, but I'd like to have somebody who can do the same things that I want to do.
Exactly, because it's when you date someone, there's also a lifestyle that starts becoming compatible with yours. There's a Sex and the City episode about this, which is fantastic.
Never seen it. Really bad of me.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes that are outdated and don't hold up, but I think there's a lot of themes and things that do hold up where in an episode, Miranda is like, she's like this high power lawyer, just like such a boss. And she's dating Steve, who is so nice and wonderful and sweet and has all those like personality qualities that you might want, but he's a bartender. And then he's like, but I want to be able to treat you and I want to be able to provide and I want to be able to take you out on dates. But the dates he takes her out on is like at burger joints. And, she's used to a standard of living and so she has to compromise. So that starts to become, hard as well. So anyway, no more unemployed Men.
Okay, that's it. No more unemployed. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're getting older. We're in this era of like, let's go for nice dinners. Let's go for nice drinks.
Yes.
Don't want to go to Weatherspoons.
Yeah, I want to live, comfortably.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to living comfortably,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's not a red or a green flag, but that's just like a standard, I guess.
Okay, now what's a green flag?
Green flags. That's an interesting... Man, I really haven't thought, because it's like I'm so busy looking out for red flags.
Yes, I think it's very. I find every guest that I've had so far, they really struggle with green flag because I think it's really easy to be like, no, don't do that. No. And I think that like red flag is a kind of the scars as well, isn't it? It's like a build up of like, okay, won't go for that again.
Yes.
But green flag, it's quite hard because I feel like the green flags are the things that you fall for.
Yeah, the green flags.
A green can turn red.
I mean, a green flag is like, I just went on a trip with my friends the other day. Green flag is my friend, his girlfriend was trying to reach for a pole we were on a bus and she was trying to stabilize herself and she couldn't reach it. And he was like, babe, I got you. And then he held her hand. And then it was like I got you. You're stable. You're with me. And then also when I think she was like digging something out of her bag or something, and then there was a cabinet or whatever, and then he put his hand on the cabinet so that when she got up, there was no chance that she would hit her head. Like he was always looking out for her. And then when we were getting into a beach and there were rocks and the rocks were really painful, and then to get in, instead of having her step on the rocks because it was so painful, he carried her. And so he walked into the water with her until there weren't any more rocks and she could just swim so she didn't have to experience that pain. Yeah. And then going out, he carried her again back out. And I was hobbling and I was like, ah! And he was like, Jenny, where are your shoes? Are they really far? And I'm like, uh-huh. And he went, good luck. And I'm like, uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, yeah, totally. Okay, so what are we calling that? Is that chivalry or
just really like
courteous
for you? Yeah, like really, really courteous.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then I think a green flag is really like outward kindness. Like the more I'm going through life, the more I'm realizing like kindness, like and generosity, like kindness especially, is actually such a rare quality in people.
Yeah.
And like now when I meet people that are kind that I get along with, I'm like, oh my God, I will really actively make an effort to keep you in my life because like my friends growing up, they've just been such nice people. Everyone I know is so nice that I didn't realize it was a rarity in the world.
Yeah, it's hard because it's an energy thing, isn't it? And I hate that the term, but like, I think that when you are kind, people take advantage of it.
Yes.
Like moving around and meeting new people, it's very easy for it to be like used to your disadvantage or used to your detriment.
Yeah, it's in a Rihanna song, 4-5 seconds. She has this lyric that's, all of my kindness has been taken for weakness.
All of my kindness.
That's actually it.
It's taken from, yes, there we go. Got it down. Yeah. Closer.
Closer.
Nailed it.
But it's so true. But it's like people who have still been able to navigate the world like with kindness,
Yeah.
And also speak to you and others respectfully. Like I think another big red flag is, this is so stereotypical, but just the way, someone treats like wait staff and other people around
it's so
them,
true though. It's so true.
And talk to them like people.
Yeah.
Like if they're rude or they call them names or whatever, like that's like instant like no.
Wait staff is no. I'm bad at talking to the people on the phone. O2.
Wait, what?
I'm so mean to O2. I'm so mean to people.
Oh, but that's fine because you have a complaint.
I'm actually kind of mean to Alexa.
But that's a robot. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. It's not a real person. Alexa. And you're saying it as if she's going to hear. Like,
well, she does hear. Yeah.
She does hear everything.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah, wait staff is
when they're a person. It's like, yeah. I mean, in the book Us that I've read, it's like it talks about treating people with when you have issues, it's like harshness doesn't get you anywhere. It's all about soft power.
Soft power, I like that.
It's like it's treating people with softness but firmness, you know? Like if you want to say something, or if I see someone like lose their temper or whatever, or curse someone, that's a real ick.
Well, men can lose their temper very quick, and it's so off-putting. Like I was walking today, and this guy was like, "Oh, I like your glasses. That was really nice." And I didn't say anything, and he was like, "Yeah, I like your glasses, though. What's your name?" And then it got started. Like I'm like, "So you think yelling at me is gonna make me interested?
Oh,
Like you've just yelled."
yeah. It's just like being a child and being demanding,
Yeah.
expecting results. It's like that doesn't get you anywhere.
No.
And it's really like demeaning.
It's really demeaning. It's really off-putting. It's really disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, I got another green flag.
Tell me.
If it's like, if I'm like on my period or whatever, or there's like bodily fluids, or like I have a UTI, that there's no judgment at all.
That
you
is
know?
hard to find.
Yeah.
That is hard to find.
Yeah.
Such a red flag is a guy who doesn't want to have sex on the period, because I mean, to each their own, you know, but I just think even if I don't want to do it, or if I do want to do whatever, when they react like, "Oh, you're on your period."
Yeah,
I'm
the
like, that's
judgment.
just the judgment, and also it's just like, I don't want. No, you're gross now.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's like, you're disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a real red flag. What else is there? I think there was another one where it's, you know, now that I've been in controlling relationships, I really know how to look out for control. But it's like little signs, like there was a guy I was seeing where there was one time where I was like really hungry. I really wanted to get food, and I'm like, "Can we please just get something around here? I am like starving. I'm like hangry. I'm like angry. I need food right now." And he's just like, "No. I know a really good place. I know it's a bit of a drive, but I know a really good place. You're gonna love it." So it's like not listening to your needs in that way. That's like a little, again, that's like one of the little bits the mask falls, you know, and you can kind of see the person as they are, because he's more concerned about, you know, his journey and his wants and him being impressive rather than your needs.
Yeah. Selflessness is quite a green flag, and I think it's very hard to find in people in general.
Really rare. Really, really rare.
And also I think as comedians, it's so hard because like we're around people all the time who are, the career in itself is quite like, you know, where you're going on stage and I mean, it can be perceived that you want this attention all the time, or I mean, we all have different motives for doing it, but like I do think we're around people a lot where it's quite easy to see who's so incredibly narcissistic.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a really narcissistic.
Oh my God, it is. Absolutely. It's you can get such a big ego from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that when another red flag, this is only applicable to comedians.
Okay.
But when you're like, "Oh, I do stand-up comedy," and they're like, "Oh, I want to do stand-up
Oh,
comedy."
I hate that when they do. It's so demeaning.
Yeah.
It is so demeaning. I think the biggest red flag is when they downplay your like your career.
Yeah, downplaying in general. Full stop is bad. But yeah, downplaying on your career is just like, you have no idea how hard this is. This is such a hard profession.
It's so hard. And also the fact that it's like, it's not a hobby. It's like, this is what's paying my bills. So it's like, this is, I don't go into marketing. You know, like, it's like, no, it's difficult. It's not like you can just start it up tomorrow.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, it's years of investment and hard work. You can't just, because everyone thinks like, oh, you just once every while, a few times a year, you just get up onto the stage and then you just talk and you're just funny, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
And it's like, we do it every day.
Yeah.
Grind. Yeah.
Red flag is definitely downplaying. Or also downplaying accomplishments, I think is if something's important to you, it's like,
that's so bad. That's like instant. That's
not a big deal.
I think that's deal breaker.
Yeah.
That's like beyond red flag. That's just like awful treatment. It's like, you should always celebrate your partner.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about so much today, and still, I think there's still things that I didn't get to talk about. But we're coming close to the end of time here.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to end with 5 minutes of not talking about relationship stuff.
Okay, great.
Whoever wants to listen about no boys,
Great.
tune out now. Bye. I find this section quite difficult because, you know, most of our discourse will be about boys, but the things that we like to talk about that are not boy related
Is O2.
yeah, we talk heavily about O2, the network, and how bad they are.
Yeah. Comedy.
On comedy, but that's no fun.
That's not fun.
I thought we could talk about Australia versus American culturism because
I love America.
I mean, you love American culture. Culture.
I mean, yeah, it is. There is such a thing as American culture. And everyone's like, oh, what the hell? Oh, America. Oh, they're so cool. Everyone in Australia loves America. We love it.
It's gone so polarized, though. I think it's like it's really interesting how what's going on in the U.S. right now makes me feel very, very sad.
Yes.
But at the same time, it makes me feel like when I see like Latinos like grouping together and protesting, like it does make me feel this sense of pride. So it's like this juxtaposition of what's happening now of being like what's going on as a whole is being so aggravating, but still there's pockets of people that are really trying to, and that's the real. That's real America to me. It's like this coming together, the like overcoming, like what's becoming of like art, what's becoming of like of comedy, of everything. This is where I think that the American mentality of overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes me proud. I think there's very few moments where I'm actually proud to be American.
Yeah. I mean, I think another reason why I aspire to America so much is exactly what you said. It's the people are so passionate and they're so vocal and they're so outspoken and they really say what they believe, even if it's stupid sometimes, but they really say it. Whereas in Australia, it's the complete opposite way. Like, you don't protest, you don't say things, you don't do the things that make you stand out. And that's why America is so aspirational, because it's like there's no inhibition in these people. It's all like, freedom. Like it's you know, like there's the bad parts and then there's the good parts as well. And I think the good parts are so fantastic and everyone's so outspoken and they're so passionate, and it's the complete opposite of Australia where it's like, don't stand out. There's tall poppy syndrome. It's like, we don't really
What's
protest.
tall poppy syndrome again? It's like you don't want someone to get that big.
So yeah, poppies are like flowers. So
top poppy?
Tall poppy.
This whole time you've said this term so many times.
Yeah.
I thought it's top uppy. Top uppy syndrome.
Top poppy syndrome.
Yeah. So I thought it was like top uppy.
Top up.
Like you don't want to top up somebody. I really thought it was top uppy. And I was like, you guys are innovative.
You're like, that's so cute. This is one of your language things. Top uppy.
Top uppy, yeah. I was like, yeah, you're right. Top uppy syndrome. It's a big problem. Yeah.
You with your Maccas and your servos. Tapuppy, that's another one. You're like to all the other Australians. Oh, I know about your Tapuppy syndrome.
Yeah, I learned about it this Avro. Learning.
So yeah, tall
poppy. For the Americans, tall poppy.
Tall poppy. So a poppy is a flower, and then they all grow in a field, and then the one that grows higher gets cut down. So that's tall poppy syndrome. So you don't want to stick out. You don't want to, be too loud and proud.
Okay.
So America's kind of in many ways like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah,
you're there and you're earnest.
Yeah.
And there's no it's not a bitter country. Like here, when I'm here in like the UK, I'm like, I can feel the bitterness, I can feel the cynicism and the sarcasm. But, Americans just feel like so earnest and like out there,
Yeah, I think we are as a people. And I think you don't realize how much of your like, I think it's also like, people that debate of like, does America have culture or like what's American culture?
It does.
And
absolutely.
I think you don't. I didn't realize it until I moved. And I was like, oh, I'll walk into the, when the tube door is shut.
Yeah.
And you make it. Whenever I make it, I'm like, yay!
Yeah.
And people are like,
that's so American.
But it is so American. Like you would, and then if it was in America, people would be like,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's just this element of like
they celebrate.
They celebrate
because it's like it is a moment where it's like, yes, I got it. And then it's like you should just be able to express that. Like they're so open to expression. I think that's so I think that's so cool and interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no need to be ashamed of that stuff.
Yes.
So I think that's why I kind of like gravitate toward it. And obviously also the entertainment and the comedy as well. Like,
Yeah.
Like they're funny. They're funny people. They're like silly. They're not afraid to be silly.
Yeah, but I also think that comes from, so much of it comes from, like, I look at Americans and I look at like what they, when it comes to like comedy, I just think the level is just so high because the grind is so much, like the grind is nothing compared to what it is anywhere else in the world.
It's just such a big population.
Big
such
population,
a big population.
but also it's like, you know, there's other fears. Like in the US, you're trying to make money and whatever, but also you're worried about healthcare. You're worried about all these other stuff. You're worried about guns. I don't think anyone goes to the supermarket without fear now. You know, I don't think there's always that looming. Like I remember even when I was a substitute teacher, and you know the gun drills, it's so real. And I think when you come out of it, the level of stress, like I remember when I came here mid-COVID, I came, and after I did my quarantine, I would watch people walking and I'm like, well, you seem so happy compared to the people in California. The tension was so real. And I'm like, oh, what's the difference? You all have healthcare. Like it's not going to cost you $500 to go as a copay, even if you have insurance. Like
100%, 100. I mean, those like basic benefits, like your safety and your health, those are universally agreed.
Yeah.
That those are the not so great parts of living in that country. Yeah, but I just the culture and the people I've always.
Do you like the
gravitated
food?
Toward. I like the Mexican food. So it's like it's the best Mexican food I've had in my life.
Yeah,
you know?
you should go to Mexico.
I should go to Mexico.
Yeah, but the Mexican food in California is really good.
And like the Asian food I had there was good as well. Like, and I just love that it's like similar to Australia in that it's a country that was built off immigrants, and there's value in like hard work. And I know that it's like the American dream isn't a thing anymore, but it's still like you see the work ethic in the people. You know,
Yeah.
Whereas here in the UK, you feel the class system a lot more, and there's a lot more like inheritance and people that kind of you know, in their circumstances because they've been born into it. Whereas in America it's like there's just that energy of the grind that's there that I really enjoy. It's like still a relatively, you know, young country that's like it's bustling and it's busy, and I like
and
it.
everyone can be what they want to be, really. That's the whole,
it's
and it
so
is
cool.
Especially when you compare it to living here. It's like like I know with my accent I will never be considered in certain circles. I will never be considered ever to be considered an equal to certain people.
Because again, I think all of that still relates back to class in some way, and also being an immigrant and belonging. Whereas in America, it's like, you're different. That's so cool. That's so interesting, which is the way it should be. It is interesting to be different and to have a different perspective to everyone else.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like I'm on Oprah. I feel like I'm on a talk show. Wow.
Yay. And I don't have any prizes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Under the chair? Nothing.
I think it's the tag is under the chair because who knows? Well, Jenny, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I hope I'll keep you posted if I do find a boyfriend. You'll be the first to know.
I know I will. Thank you. I better be.
Yeah, you will. Don't you worry. Is there anything you want to plug? I'm sure this will be edited in the next year.
I mean, I'm on tour. I'm probably on tour. I'd be touring Australia, the States, maybe the UK if I can fit it in.
She's everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
She's everywhere.
Except Canada. I'm sorry. It's a hard visa. The visa to America was hard enough. I'm tired of visas.
You'll get there eventually.
I'll get there.
They can do a trip.
They can do a trip. Yeah. New York and Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you. Well, we'll hang out now. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out now.
This is the allure is gone. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm really bad at ending these things, you know?
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Thank you for listening to the third episode of Never Had a Boyfriend. Again, if you enjoyed, please subscribe, like, comment, leave a 5-star review. Everything super helps. And if you really, really love it, I do have the Patreon. The link can be found in the bio of wherever you're listening to. Thank you so much and see you next week. Bye-bye.